Welcome back to another episode of Not Just Another Story. This week, I'm delighted to introduce both Jack and Paige Aynsley Travel. How are you doing, guys?
Good, thank you, Callum. How are you?
I'm good, very good.
Happy to
And
be here.
happy to be here. Is that in Japan or on the podcast?
Both.
So, guys, just for the audience who's listening or watching on YouTube, just give a brief overview of what you guys do and what you're currently doing as well.
Yeah, so we make adventure travel content on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere, where it's normally long form, pretty long videos, 45 minutes to sometimes an hour and a half of just, traveling into maybe unknown places or the crazy, hectic places like Pakistan, parts of rural India, through parts of China, and just focusing on talking with local people, speaking local languages, going on hellish train journeys, like 34-hour train journeys. Just like trying to just do something a bit different and something that we're proud of with regards to getting out of our comfort zone by, whether it's languages, where it's a difficult journey, or whether it's just going to a random place nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah, after watching your videos as well, I can say that you're definitely out of majority of people's comfort zones because some of the run-ins that I've seen that you guys have had as well on the videos, I can only imagine it's probably 10 times worth off camera. Never mind on it. But yeah, they're quite entertaining to watch, especially like on the trains. So I've recently watched one of the Packies stand videos when it's on the cheapest train, and then you start to get moved carriages and stuff like that. So yeah, they were quite good watches. But no, we'll get into all your content and everything a little bit later on in the episode as well. So just diving into the YouTube thing, because I think especially for backgrounds where we kind of being brought up with and our kind of group friendship groups and stuff like that, I think YouTube's a very unique way to go down. I think a lot of people want to do it but never actually kind of take the plunge. So I know obviously Jack, it's your channel, and Paige, you're on his channel. You don't have your own YouTube, do you, Paige?
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah, well,
We have a second channel that we're thinking about.
it started off as my channel. A long time ago, back in around 2016 or 2015, something like that.
Yeah.
Whereby I was making videos, and then we went on our first ever holiday together. And I thought, why don't we make some holiday vlogs, just like the classic hip hop beat with a montage of the beach and the sunset and all that sort of stuff. But that was all super non-serious, just get some holiday memories, and we can look back on it later, watch it on big telly and all that. But then more recently, I'd say it's become our channel. It's definitely an our thing, and certainly not known amongst our audience as one. It's always the two of us. And often a lot of our audience probably know Paige more than they know me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just in the vlogs as well, you do get I was laughing at one of the videos as well when it's you're kind of stood at the side and everyone's getting the pictures with Paige, and you're like, okay, you don't want a picture with me. Yeah, so I was laughing at them ones. The reason I just went on about your channel there, Jack, I was just going to kind of ask, how long have you actually been doing YouTube for, and what was the reason for starting it? Was it, I looked at you to try getting a little bit of research, it was 8 years ago, and it was the Sikinthos vlog, I think it was.
Yeah.
Was that your first one, or did you do little bits before that and remove the videos, anything like that, or was it just kind of you guys' first holiday?
Nah, I'd made YouTube videos before, everything from Minecraft videos, Call of Duty videos to anything you can think of.
The typical ones.
Yeah, but as far as properly taking it, maybe even serious isn't the right word, but is actually sort of thinking, I'll try my best to make these videos really good or whatever. Started with the Zanti series. I would never have even called it a series back then, but set of like 6 or 7 videos from Zante.
Our first holiday
Yeah.
when we were 18.
First time we'd ever been away together. So it's nice to have like there's a video from every single day we filmed every day of that holiday. So at least even when we're like 50 or whatever, we can like look back at our first ever holiday every single day what we did.
We look back on it now.
Yeah,
We watched it the other day.
It's like, if we get YouTube on the big telly, we'll just stick them on, you know.
Yeah.
But so it was always nice for that, and a few of them got like a few thousand views or whatnot, but nothing to kind of go, oh, this is what I do now. I make travel videos. It was just like,
Just for fun.
Yeah, and I was kind of, oh well, every time we go on a trip, we'll film videos, and again, I didn't even stick to that either. End up just, I found a few years later, 2 or 3 years later, we went on a trip to Thailand.
Yeah.
And filmed that, and it was just like, I'm so glad I filmed that, because what an experience that is to arrive in Asia for the first time, having only ever been to Europe or America, but to go to Asia, and all of a sudden you've got the crazy streets and the big LED lights on the side of the buildings, all the signs, and they've got like street food where you're walking down the street, it's humid, you can smell the spices, some guy's got a wok and a big fire roars about the wok, and you've got your backpack on and you've got jet lag, and it's like, you're thinking, where on earth am I? Like, this is just like mental, and I'm really happy and sort of grateful to my past self that I actually filmed the moment we first sort of got off the airport bus and arrived in Bangkok, that was. But I remember filming that whole trip to Thailand and uploading videos, but I fell out of love with it after that, because I found that like the style of videos that we're doing, it was kind of like
so time consuming.
Yeah, we would film like from when we woke up, like saying like good morning to the vlog, like you know, like today we're gonna do this or that, and then we'd film everything, and any single thing that happened in the day, I'd be like trying to get my camera, like I need to film it, I need because I didn't really know what we were gonna do or if that day was gonna be interesting. So anytime I thought something might be interesting, I would like panic and reach for the camera and try to film it. And I was like, it's just like everything that, like, can you imagine if every single thing that was interesting in your daily life, you had to quickly get a good shot of it and make it interesting and make it exciting on the video. And
then you also we didn't absorb the experience when we were filming as much as when we weren't filming.
Yeah, exactly, because anything that was good, I couldn't even think about, oh, this is really amazing. It was like, this is going to be a really good clip for the video. And so just kind of, after that, they were the last videos. I went to film a couple of videos in China, but after that, they were the last videos that we posted for 5 years. Just had a complete 5-year gap where we still travelled to maybe 15, 16 countries or something like that, but never filmed them, because I was like, went on one trip where I didn't film, and I was like, this is amazing, I just get to enjoy it for myself, I can do whatever I want, and it doesn't matter if it's boring, because it's only me, started YouTube, I guess properly that time ago,
8 years ago,
and made a few trips, few videos, and then fell out of love with it a little bit, and then obviously came back with it more recently.
So to be fair, that answers my next thing. So I was going to say, like, kind of what made you start YouTube, and by the sounds of it, from the travel side anyways, it's kind of more of a diary for yourselves to look back on more than anything, isn't it? It's like when you do eventually have kids as well, you can be like, have a look at what the experiences we've had. I've heard quite a few people say like that's why they started vlogging and stuff like that as well, to kind of, so they can then, not just that, you can kind of share your experiences with family members, stuff like that as well. So I think that is a really good thing about YouTube, about vlogging and everything like that. And just when you mentioned there about picking up the camera and enjoying the moment and stuff like that, I kind of find myself being in the complete opposite, because I'm trying to get more involved with like content creation and stuff like that, just to go alongside the podcast. So my idea is concentrate on the podcast, but then start uploading like weekly videos on YouTube, just kind of vlog style, like day in the life, stuff like that. And what I find is I'll get sucked into doing something and I'll totally forget to record it altogether. So then I'll end up with one video a day, which is like a 2-minute clip from when I first get out of bed. So I'm like, right, I can't upload that. And my biggest thing is I wish I'd done this last year now, because then I would have probably had stuff posted, which means I would have been more confident on camera, and then I could have done Australia, because I had like 3.5 weeks in Australia, and like it was the first time I ever travelled like abroad on my own and stuff like that. So I think that would have been like very good for content, and being on Kagori Island, which is like the largest sand island in the world. I think that would have been pretty sick. But yeah, at that time I was just like enjoying the experience. I think I was on me screen time went down to like 4 hours a day, and it's on like 12 or something now. And it's literally because I'm one of them people, like, you know, even in concerts, how everyone's always got the phone out. I'll have my phone in my pocket and just kind of watch the concert and take it all in. I'm really bad for it, so it's something I need to work on. So I was a little bit of the opposite, where you were thinking, oh, this is good, get on the vlog. I'm more like, this is so good. Oh shit, where's my camera? So yeah, I'm the opposite. So with travel, was it just a case where, for like doing travel content instead of kind of going along the like gaming route, was it just because more for an enjoyment and some of that you personally had a bit more passion about traveling rather than like the gaming side of things? Is that why you kind of went down that route?
Yeah, I think well,
the gaming stuff was like a high school, just like in an evening after school, you would just kind of play with your friends and then upload it just for your friends to laugh at. But this was more of like a long-term love for travel that you had. You've always loved travel.
I've been watching travel vlogs since 2010, 2011, like literally getting home from school, and like I remember the moment that I actually sort of even discovered that vlogging was a thing, or well, that travel vlogs might be a thing, was I'd been watching like vloggers who just kind of I don't know, you know, like the original British vloggers, people like just kind of making like a day in the life, or like I don't know what I eat in a week or something, I don't know. And then like I remember being in school, I was in like year 9 or year 8 or something like that, and I remember like watching these vlogs all the time, and then I was thinking like, oh, like it would be so class to see, because at the time I really wanted to go to New York. I thought that would be like amazing when I was a teenager. I thought it would be the best thing ever to go to New York City. And then I was like, oh, like I'd love to see, like, cause I would like Google image search New York City. And I was like, I want more, like I need more
bigger
content
experience
than just like Google images, and like and then I was like, and honestly, I remember I was in an English class in year 9, and it just like hit in at that point. I was like, actually it wasn't year 9, it was maybe year 7, but it just like hit that point, and I was like, oh, once I've just typed in like New York vlog, and then maybe somebody did a vlog in New York, and I can watch that, like, and then literally like got home from school like that, straight in my bedroom on my computer, like New York vlog, and like then I just like was like on just the cloud 9, because I could type in any place, Bora Bora, French Polynesia vlog, like Los Angeles vlog, like Philippines vlog, like anywhere I could think of. I'd look at the map and like just type in that place and vlog, and just like watch. And this was like when I was like 13, and so yeah, I've always just always enjoyed travel vlogs, adventure stuff, and then so it was kind of no. I didn't really have much of a thought about it. I didn't really sort of think like I wanted to be a YouTuber or anything, and what should I do. It was just kind of I never really had that discussion with myself or with you, or
it was just
we kind of fell into it. Yeah. Nah, I love that though, because I think they're probably the best opportunities in it, when you don't really have like a thought about it. You're kind of doing something just because you're enjoying it, and then when you can actually start doing things full time that you really enjoy, it's like, but what do they say, if you do something you enjoy, you'll never work another day in your life and stuff like that. That's pretty much you guys. You're on a permanent holiday.
It's hard graft.
I can imagine, if I'm being honest.
I always joke with like my friends from work. I always like say, oh yeah, just another holiday today, and then I'll like sit on my laptop for 12 hours and like edit and just like negotiate contracts and brand deals, and when we finish we're like, we're done, this is it.
It's a hard balance to think about, really. It's quite a yin yang sort of thing, because it is absolutely a dream come true. We're very, very grateful, very, very lucky. But at the same time, I've worked a 9 to 5 for 8 years of my life, and every well, basically almost every. I mean, for example, now weekends don't exist.
Yeah.
There's no
I've realised that just off a couple of weeks doing this.
there's no such thing as like Friday feeling, like get to 5 o'clock on a Friday, like get in, like it's just like, yeah, I'll just have to, and it's only you work until you finish editing that thing, or you finish having that meeting, or you're planning a new series and you need to research loads of stuff, and then
Yeah.
the Saturday you don't like get up and go like brilliant, now work till Monday. It's like Saturday morning, as soon as you wake up, straight to the laptop, checking the analytics, reading all your comments,
Yeah.
like just straight at it. I think I would wholeheartedly say that on any given day now, I work harder and I'm more exhausted from the work than any given day in 8 years of a 9 to 5.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll just off like editing the podcast and stuff like that, and as you can probably like think, there's not really much editing with podcasts. It's just kind of cleaning stuff up more than anything, especially mine, because I don't want to kind of have it where it's like you can tell people's done different takes. I just kind of want to do it like raw. If people swear, they swear. If people mess up on what they're saying and then say something else a bit later, all be in the episode. So I don't do much editing, but I still spend like 3 hours kind of cleaning everything up still, and I haven't even started doing like thumbnails and stuff like that yet. So that's literally on my agenda for this afternoon, to do all the thumbnails for all the different episodes that I've done. So that's going to be my first thing editing on Photoshop since I was in marketing 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm going to be totally out of me depth in that, but YouTube, it's a great place. That's probably what I'll do for editing. But it'll be easy because I'm just going to kind of do like screen grabs of the recording and stuff like that. Or what I was thinking is kind of use my logo that I've got and get like each guest to send over like them doing like a thinking face and put them on the other side. And then it's like the same on both sides, and then you just kind of gonna like layer over like the title or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do like a few different concepts. I think for Baggy, the first episode was Baggy. Guy who we worked with, that was a long episode because he can talk longer than me, and that's saying something. But yeah, so just moving on then. When you want about like the different brand deal stuff like that, when did you actually start generating an income for YouTube, and how long for the like in the process was it? Because obviously a lot of people these days think, let's start a YouTube channel, can start earning money like overnight essentially, but I know for a fine fact that's not a case, and anyone who does, they're uploading for a long time unless they hit lucky, but before they start doing anything it's like 2, 3, potentially even longer years like generating. So when did you start earning not like a proper income, but like the odd like couple of quid here and there through the videos?
So we started posting very like
serious travel content
at the start of 2023. So literally January 2023, we went to Scandinavia on a long weekend. Just maybe it was a bank holiday weekend, or we just used annual leave.
No, it was the Friday and the Monday off we took.
Yeah.
Over a February weekend.
Yeah. And then we went to Copenhagen, Denmark, went to Gothenburg, Sweden, and Oslo, Norway. And we filmed. Well, I guess I should preface this a little bit because there's two kind of subjects here to just to give a bit of context to the whole question. I will come to the money part.
Keep them on. Keep going.
So the reason that we started making videos again, I guess I should probably say this first before talking about taking it serious, was I came across a couple of YouTubers who are very, very famous and successful. A lot of people will know them if they watch travel videos. Is a Scottish guy, Dale Phillip, and an Australian guy called Luke Demand. Now, these videos I had never seen. Like I said, I've been watching travel videos since I was a young teenager, and these types of videos I'd never seen before. These were videos that had no music in them, that had no drone shots in them, there was no fast cuts. It was just some Scottish guy or this Australian lad just literally walking down a street in New Delhi, India, or Karachi, Pakistan, or God knows wherever they were, in Istanbul, Turkey, and the video would be like 45 minutes long, 50 minutes long, an hour and a half long, and it was just them, like, raw filming, like, you know, like with a selfie stick like this. It's like raw filming themselves, walking down the street, talking to people, buying stuff, bargaining for like fake footy tops. You know, they would, you know, eat in a restaurant, but it wasn't just like, oh guys, I'm gonna get this local food and like cut to them buying, cut to them eating. Like if they went in a restaurant, you almost got the full experience. You as a viewer might be watching that restaurant scene for 25, 30 minutes, where in the restaurant he's not only eating his dinner, he's like this other guy, he's talking to a local guy like, oh, have you had this before? Like
What do you
what
recommend,
would you recommend
guy?
next time? Or, and some guy invites him over, oh, come eat with me, and he's like talking with a local, and it was like, and it was this long, raw video, and it felt like, as a viewer, when I was watching that, I was going, that's amazing, that, because that's travel videos, but he isn't worrying about waking up and saying, good morning guys, today I'm doing this. It was just like
It was like an hour from his day, and you actually saw that like entire hour from his day, and we were like, oh,
like,
imagine
brilliant.
if you only had to film for 1 hour and you could upload that on YouTube, and you were like, that's it.
I was like, brilliant, yeah. Like that, it felt like it was a slice of life, like one single hour on any given day in this random city in the world. It was like somewhere mental, like Karachi, or whether it was Delhi or Mumbai or whatever. And it was like, you know what, yeah, I think I would like to sit for an hour and watch what an hour is like in Mumbai, or what an hour is like in Delhi.
Or for a foreigner
Yeah,
in these places.
And it was like, okay, that's amazing. Now that guy, after his hour of filming, he'll put his camera away, go and do whatever the hell he wants. He won't have to like panic about, oh, I need to get this, need to get that, because he's already filmed his video. It's done. Like he's made it and he's done it. And I was like, I really wanted to make travel videos again, because I missed them from what we had, and we would watch them back and go, think about all the trips that we'd done where we hadn't filmed, and go, oh, I wish we still made them, but like it's too much effort. But then I saw this guy, I was like, brilliant. So we just go somewhere, we'll just like go to the interesting place, film for 45 minutes or an hour, and just make sure you maybe sort of do a little bit more than you might normally do, like buy a few more things than you might normally do, or eat a few more local foods, maybe like twice in an hour, whereas normally you would never eat twice in an hour, but we'll do that, you know. And I was like, and then after an hour, we'll shut the camera off, and
we'll enjoy our holiday.
Brilliant, yeah. I was like, that's absolutely brilliant. And then I was like, and we'll be able to have memories from our trips and the interesting places, and also I won't be stressed all day about filming this. So we, going back to what I was saying earlier, we went to Scandinavia, and we went to Copenhagen, Denmark. In Copenhagen, there is an enclave, which is an area which is not governed by the Danish government.
Right.
It's a hippie community. It was formerly an army base, which got
They like shut it down, and then loads of people started squatting in it, and then they were like, this is our home now. We're going to own this piece of land, and no one can tell us what to do.
And, these hippies in the 70s basically won the rights to the land against the state, against the country of Denmark. And so it's a completely, you're allowed, like, inside that one tiny little, like, not even a town, it's like the size of 2 football pitches, right?
Okay.
And it's like heroin is legal there, like
So it's like governed by the people who live there. So the people who live there would be able to get together and go, actually, guys, I don't think we should have heroin here anymore.
Now it's illegal.
And now it's illegal for them.
Yeah.
They've like made their own community, but they're very relaxed. They have basically 0 laws.
Yeah,
it's a mutual respect of other people.
Yeah.
Heroin is not legal there.
Yeah, but it was just for for the to show the point, but it could be legal if they decided they wanted it to be, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's called the last lawless place in Europe. So I will go there and I'll just film an hour walking around, talking to some people. There's loads of stuff you can't film because there is loads of drugs everywhere.
Pusher Street, right?
Pusher Street, for everyone pushing narcotics, and just like really interesting place. There's like street food there. Like it's a really good place if if people like the Amsterdam experience of weed and brownies and all that. Like you can kind of do that sort of thing while in a really unique place full of street art and like real hippies, not like modern day coffee shops you get in Amsterdam sort of thing. It's just an alternative place for people to go if they're into that sort of scene. But for us it was like, I can just say like the last lawless place in Europe or whatever. And I went there, made a video like that, like I say, just 40 minutes walking around, talking, and then did the same in Gothenburg, Sweden.
Yeah, we did what we spend in a day.
Yeah, just like showing how much stuff costs by just like, yeah, maybe we filmed that one over a couple of hours, but again, it wasn't morning till night sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then we left Scandinavia going, okay, that was a really good experience of making videos and it not being too stressful, time consuming, etc. And yeah, we later decided that we would go to India. And it was like, okay, this is like the real deal. This is the types of videos we've been watching, was these long videos in Delhi and Varanasi and like in all these crazy places in India. And I became entirely obsessed with everything India. Started reading this like 1,000-page novel all about India, like learning Hindi, everything. I was entirely consumed by it because when you got a 9 to 5 and you think about the idea of having 3 weeks of just like intense, like off the grid adventure, just like, you know, fly by the
Seat of your pants.
Seat of your pants or whatever. It's just like go where you want, do whatever in India where nobody can find you, nobody can like just like everywhere is like you've never seen anything like any place in India. Like I was like, wow, like I work in like a, you know, like an office in Gateshead, and now all of a sudden I can be in like the Ganges River, like surrounded by the fires of burning bodies and the public funerals and stuff. It's like, this is like, you know, real exploration. So we went there we planned out these videos sort of like, oh, we'll make a video here, we'll make a video there, etc. But yeah, same situation. We'll go to the interesting place and we'll start filming and we'll record for an hour or whatever, and then that'll be the video. We'll get on the train and we'll just record the train talking to people, because a lot of people, you know, they might take a train but it's like a 5-minute segment of their video, whereas we kind of want to like zoom in like on the timeline, and let's have an hour, let's show the whole experience. Someone can go watch 1 hour and they get the full experience of an Indian sleeper train, from the board in the train, the food, the local people, the curious people, I don't know, police,
There's some of my favourite ones from you guys, like the train ones, if I'm being honest, because you get a lot of different characters on them.
It's a carousel of, it's like a buffet of interesting people, because people just like keep coming down the carriage, they see you a foreigner and go, huh? What are you doing here? But yeah, to cut long story short, we filmed maybe 12 videos from India, and so these 2 Scandinavia videos and the 12 India videos them videos hadn't performed well enough for us to hit the requirements of monetization. So even after all that, and I got, you know, did some crazy stuff, multiple lowest class trains, you know, the burning bodies and the ghats of India, you know, these really, really long, grueling, what I would say 90% of people, they wouldn't put themselves through it, you know. And even after that, we still hadn't hit the YouTube requirements for monetization. And then the final, maybe it's like right at the end of the trip, a massive YouTuber called Harold Balder, sort of around the same sort of sphere as like Bald and Bankrupt and that sort of thing. A Norwegian guy, he went to Varanasi, which is where the public funerals are, and he made a video there and he uploaded it like a day after mine. I thought, brilliant.
And then like 90% of people who watched that video was recommended our video of the burning ghats afterwards.
So that we'd only been getting a few thousand views a video, and then everyone, you know, his video almost put like all videos about Varanasi in like the algorithm. So I always started getting recommended, and it was like, this is absolutely amazing. It got like 30k views. Maybe a day later, it was on 50k, and then it just started, literally the little graph just started going pop, 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 pop. and now it has maybe 300,000 views or something like that. But because of Harold Balder, by complete chance, because what we had done, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for us to get the amount of views and the watch time and whatever you need for the monetization. But Harold Balder's video, Kick an Hour video, that video pushed us over the edge. So we left India, all the videos made, uploaded, everything, and the last point, we hit the requirements for monetization. So at this point, obviously we had no more videos, we've got no more annual leave left. It was like,
we had a week.
We had 5 days, 5 days annual leave left. It was just like,
and we were like, what are we going to do? What's the next level from India? And then we thought, we'll go to Pakistan with our 5 days of annual leave. We'll leave England and go to Pakistan on our weekly holiday.
It's like it seems like, you know, people start to enjoy India stuff. What can be seen is like, I think generally the stereotype would be like Pakistan is maybe more dangerous or more less travelled, which is probably the more the more correct thing.
Yeah.
It's people often fear places where people don't go very often, so they think, oh well, if nobody goes there, then it mustn't be safe. We thought, yeah, we'll go there and we'll go everywhere. We'll go to Karachi in the south. We'll go to Islamabad, the capital. We'll go all the way up into the Himalayas and Skardu.
I remember telling everybody at work, I was like, yeah, well, I've been to India now, so I'm going to Pakistan. And everyone at work was like, Paige, you cannot go to Pakistan.
But yeah, so this was months and months later. So we left India in April. And we didn't go to Pakistan until September. And yeah, we had we did uploading some like YouTube shorts and stuff like that, and a few of them went a little bit viral. But yeah, basically, even though we had hit monetization requirements, there was like no money coming in. Like just like maybe I could buy me lunch, like
income,
like buy a meal deal or something like that with it. But yeah, so it wasn't until we went to Pakistan, and went there for 7 days, got food poisoning and incredibly sick.
I genuinely thought I was going to die on that trip in the bed at Skardu. I was like, this is it. My heart rate was like 20 beats per minute, and I was just like, I'm dead. I'll just die here.
That's not good for you, Paige.
No. And then you messaged Luke, who we'd become friends with in turn, Luke Deman, and then he was like, you need to go get some ciprofloxacin, and then got that, and then I was literally like 90% better the next day. I was like, this pill is magical.
Yeah, it's like a Pakistan and Indian, you can buy it over the counter in some like random chemist, and it just like fixes food poisoning. It's
we carry it with us now all the time.
Yeah. Love that.
But yeah, so after the Pakistan week, I started uploading the videos in the same way, the long videos. You know, first impressions of Karachi, just like an hour walking around like one sort of street with lots of interesting things that we had thought about, pre-planned on going to. That sort of filming is really nice, because it's like, I know that when I've turned the camera off, I'm like, yeah, okay, I ate like 2 things, I spoke to 3 random people, like I took this mode of transport, I bargained for this. Like, I'm like, that's an interesting video. There's like 4 or 5 interesting things happening in that video. It's a good video. And like, once I turn the camera off, I'm like, brilliant, well, good job.
And then we would take those 4 or 5 interesting things, and then we started uploading them on Facebook and on TikTok. And then we monetized those too, didn't we? Within a few months from our interesting videos that we already had filmed. So it was just an extra income stream with very little extra work.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't until maybe a month or 2 after that Pakistan trip where the views and everything else amounted up to a substantial amount of money. You know, it wasn't as much as, you know, we could make.
One person's 9-to-5 job.
It was nothing like we could, you know, we still weren't making as much as we were at work or anything like that. It was still just extra, you know, side money, as if somebody had taken up a second job, you know, working in a bar or something like that as a part-time. Yeah, it was like an extra part-time job. Yeah. It was so that we're talking about a span of 9 months and some ridiculously grueling journeys, food poisoning, being on death's door. Just like to get to a something where in that time somebody could have just went and applied for a part-time job and they would have
a few late nights at a bar and made the same amount of money after almost dying of food poisoning.
So when was it that you actually end up doing, like, going full-time into YouTube then? Because Paige, I know obviously I worked with you, and I can remember you saying, and at the time I didn't even realise you were posting YouTube videos at the time.
Yeah.
So that's how unaware to the world I was. But to be fair, you were my first travel vlog that I watched, and then that's how I got on to like Simon Wilson and stuff like that. So you's actually got me into travel vlogs. So
gateway to Simon Wilson.
It was.
So this is one of my favourite stories to tell, actually. So we had been like making enough money. We had a little bit of credit card debt. We had a 6-month lease on our apartment, and we were like, "Oh, we kind of want to do it full time, but maybe we should pay off our debt first, and then maybe after that, and then our lease will have ended, and then we'll do it. We'll go full time. Maybe we'll be making a little bit more money then."
This was November.
Yeah. So
and we still had like, you know, a contract on our flat and everything up until March of you know, the next year.
Yeah.
So then our friend Luke said, "You know, you can like end leases early, right?" And we were like, "Oh no, we didn't know that." And he was like, "Yeah, just like speak to your landlord, and maybe they'll let you out." And then our landlord said, "Yeah, if we'll put the house on the market, you have to pay your rent until somebody else moves in. But if somebody moves in before the end of your lease, we'll end your lease early."
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, so like we're definitely not tied down to Gateshead until February. And then it was my birthday, and we went to Las Iguanas for bottomless brunch at like 11 a.m. And we had a few drinks before, went to bottomless brunch, and then we had a few more drinks, went to the Toon game, had a few more drinks, went home very, very drunk, and then we went, "Should we just quit our jobs on Monday? Shall we? Should we just do it?" And then Jack was like, "Yeah, would you? Would you really?" And we were like, "Yeah, let's do it."
It was like the first time after like we'd thought about it a million times, like, oh, like when do you think we can quit? Like when do you think like
Would be the right time.
The money that we're making, it wasn't enough to live in the UK, or wasn't enough to live our lives that we did in the Northeast.
Yeah.
But it was definitely enough to live in Thailand or Vietnam or India or all the places we travelled. It was enough for us to travel and make videos. So, like to stay in hostels and all that. So it was like
work for accommodation if we needed to, and
it was like, and it was just like we'd always thought, oh well, we should make sure we've cleared all of our credit card, make sure we've like, you know, we don't have to pay any rent on the apartment anymore, so we'll have to wait till next year and all that. And but this, when she started, was after bottomless brunch, pre-match drinks at St James's Park.
You get brave.
Game.
Oh yeah.
Just like, it was the
Such
first,
courage.
Yeah,
So then-
first time we'd ever thought about the idea of quitting and going, well, why not? Like, it was like I physically can. Like, it is not impossible. There isn't like 100-foot wall in front of me, and behind there is my boss waiting to receive my resignation letter. It's like I physically can give a resignation letter to my boss. I physically can leave my job and not go to that building anymore. I was like, okay. So I was like, even though this probably sounds stupid, but even after I'd processed, like, okay, so maybe mentally, socially, I can't. I was like, physically, I can just go, I quit, I don't want to work here anymore, and never go back to that place ever again. I was like, okay. And I also can, right now in my bank, afford a one-way flight to India, to Pakistan, to Thailand, wherever it was. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, so I can quit my job and fly to an interesting place to make videos. Like, I physically can do that. I was like, yeah, well, then we'll just will. It was like that was the first night. We were just like, why don't we just do it?
And then we were like, well, how do you quit your job and leave your home? And it was like, okay, we need less stuff, because what are we going to do with all of this stuff? And there was a skip downstairs in our apartment building, and we just started grabbing bags of things that we owned, and just started throwing it in the bin. We were like, don't need.
Whale drunk.
Yeah.
I love that. Just like ripping open the cupboard, taking all of that.
Pots and pans from the kitchen. We were like, only need one pan left for the month we're going to be here. Throw everything else away.
Or like any even like work stuff, like suits, like shirts, like button-up shirts. Everyone's like, well, I don't need to work anymore. Just throw them away. Like, just a lot of it. Anything that's like, I don't know, cushions. Oh well, I don't have a couch anymore, so we'll just like. Just hide the cushions away, like.
Should have sold it all on Vinted and stuff like that. Get a little bit of traffic revenue.
And I was too drunk to think about income. This is something that is in the way of what I want. So what can I do with it? Bin.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then drunk, we wrote our resignation letters. So, and then we calmed down. I ordered a pint of milk on Deliveroo.
Definitely hadn't calmed down, because you're ordering pints of milk on Deliveroo.
I was thinking, pints of milk on Deliveroo?
Yeah, I was like, I've got no milk. Order a pint of milk on Deliveroo. I poured myself a glass of milk, and we sat down and we were like, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna quit our jobs. So then We woke up on the Sunday morning.
That was a Saturday, so we woke up on Sunday.
We called Jack's mum and we were like, we need something from our storage unit. Do you mind taking us to it? And then she like came to our apartment with her car, and we just started like unloading everything that we wanted to keep into her car, and she was like, these are all of your things. we were like, so you know when we said that we weren't going to quit our jobs yesterday at brunch? Well, since then we've actually changed our minds.
Yeah.
And we were like, we'll be leaving at the end of the year. And then on Monday, I logged in 10 minutes early, and I called my boss, and I was like, do you have 10 minutes? And she was like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, so actually, I'm quitting right now. And she was like, this is the last thing I thought you were calling me for. And I was like, yeah, well.
It's happening.
Yeah, we just committed to it, didn't we?
Yeah, I sent the email to my manager with the resignation letter on my walk to work, so I knew that when I had arrived at work that I couldn't
back down.
I couldn't back out from it. Like I couldn't
negotiate.
Yeah, I couldn't like get to work and go, oh well, now everyone's here and now I'm already here. I feel like it's just like before I'd even got to work, I was listening to me like Vance Joy, me like backpacker like vibes playlist. I was like I just like sent it, so I knew that like no matter what, when I arrived there, like it was done. Like there was no like, oh well, let's have a discussion. It was like I've said, you know, I
your work. Jack went back to the same work that he worked before we quit our jobs to go backpacking when we just quit our jobs to go. Yeah. And they took him back on the promise that Jack wouldn't quit his job to go travelling again.
Yeah. Just a quick context there. So back in 2019, we saved up as much money as we could and quit our jobs to go backpacking. We didn't film anything, didn't make any videos at all. Just backpacked for 7 months around Southeast Asia
before
and
COVID.
in Japan. And then COVID happened, and we had to go back home and ended up falling back into the 9-to-5 route. I went back to the same job I had for 5 years beforehand, and when I came back, they said, oh yeah, we'll take you back, but you have to promise you're not going to just quit your job and go travelling again when the pandemic's over. And,
what was the reaction then?
He said, I remember my manager said that he was disappointed and all the rest of it. And then I said, oh well, I hope I can still come back and see you when I'm back in the country and stuff. And he said that he'd rather lock the door and throw the key away than let me back in the building. So
that's a bit horrible, mind, but okay. Yeah, man. Following your dreams and stuff like that, and that's a sport.
No, well, some people just don't see the vision, do they?
Exactly. Nah. Paige, I'm assuming Explorer a little bit nicer to you, or was that the same?
Yeah. Well, I was already off for half of the month anyway because I had surgery, and then I literally went in for a week, and then I was like, right, well that's me gone. Yeah. Gave a month's notice and only worked a week of it.
Nah, I'm jealous. I'm still in the same job. Well, not the same job, obviously, but same job as when you left, though, because obviously I'd moved sides. But just touching back on when I realised you'd done YouTube videos was when you used to actually, come around and speak to John, and John used to ask you questions about a page.
Yeah.
That's when I realised that you had done YouTube videos. Up until then, I had zero clue. Even though we went out quite a few times after work and everything like that, I have no clue how I didn't know you used to YouTube videos.
I used to come round and I used to be like, guys, I've almost hit 100,000 subscribers, and everyone used to be like, yeah, Paige, can you just like go away now? I don't care.
And I was just sat there confused, just like, on what? Like, what are you on about?
2 months later, I came around and was like, well, guys, I've actually quit my jobs now, so you enjoy working here. I'm gone.
Yeah. Nah, honestly, when I first found out, I was like, you just do YouTube. I was like, how am I oblivious to this?
I also think that out of anybody in that office, I was the one most likely to have made a YouTube video out of anyone else.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Probably Alex would only be the other person who I would think, but
yeah,
I would have thought would have been something to do with football with him, not music. When you look at him, he doesn't look very musically gifted, but he is. But yeah, no, that's great to be fair. So I'm very jealous. But if I'm being honest, something off camera, I can't really dive into it. Could potentially be something similar towards the end of the year that I'll be doing, but can talk about that off camera, just not on camera. But yeah, so moving on with the business, because I want to get into the travel stuff, and I'm aware that we're quite far in already, and it doesn't even seem like it's been 45 minutes. So what is the different types of way of making money, just for like any listeners trying to get into content creation, stuff like that? So not every social media platform, because we could probably be here all day talking about different ways, but solely YouTube wise, because obviously I know you've got AdSense, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
what's like the kind of breakdown? Can you get paid per views as well, stuff like that? Just for anyone who's looking to start YouTube, like anything, so that they can be more aware of like different ways they can make money from YouTube.
Yeah, so on YouTube you're paid per 1,000 views,
Right.
but it depends on where that 1,000 view is from. So, for instance, the average income of somebody from India is maybe £300 to £400 a month,
Right.
whereas maybe somebody from the UK, the average income is maybe £2,000 a month.
Yeah.
So somebody in England has more money to spend. So if you're in England and you watch a YouTube video, you might get an iPhone video, or, you know, for the latest car or something. Whereas somebody in India, if they watch your video, their income's a little bit lower, so maybe they'll get like a subscription service ad, or they'll get like an ad for like food or something that will cost them less, but in relativeness it's all kind of the same.
Yeah.
So somebody from India, their view pays less than somebody from England.
Right. Okay.
So say, for instance, from India it's about $3 per 1,000 per people from India who watch your video.
Yeah.
No, it's like $1.10, around £1, £1 per 1,000 views from India.
Uh-huh. And then from England or the USA, it's more towards the like seven, eight,
£9. So
mark.
you can imagine you could literally have, you could have a video where you're talking, I don't know, like you've got all your followers are all from England. They're all full of UK viewers, and you get 10,000 views on your video, and you might go, oh well, that's not, you know, I would like more than that. But you see somebody who makes videos, and all of their audience, like most of their audience is like Indonesian people or Indian people or Pakistani people or whatever. Based in them countries. I'm not talking about Pakistanis in the UK or anything. I mean actually based in Pakistan or India or wherever.
Yeah.
And they could get 100,000 views on a video, but
make less money.
They would make maybe 6-7 times less money than your 10,000 view video, which was only watched by British people.
Yeah.
So it's entirely relevant to the location of the viewer, because nobody ever watches the same ad. Even you can literally be in the same house on the same Wi-Fi as your mate, and you open the same video, you'll both get 2 different adverts.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that, to be fair. I thought it was pretty much standardized, like to the ads that get put on the video. I thought they might change depending on demographic, but more from a country base rather than an individual point of view. So that's quite interesting. So with the views, is that very similar to AdSense, or is that totally different revenue stream?
No, that is your ad.
That's your AdSense. Yeah, so that's the same. Right. Okay. So what other ways is there then? Because that, and then sponsors, I'm assuming, is obviously a massive one.
Yeah. So we are. So it's kind of the same. AdSense is the same pretty much for Facebook and TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah, it all works the same. It pays you to get, if you have a Western audience, if your followers are British, American, Australian, German, you're gonna
Swiss.
Definitely. Swiss is the highest paying viewer.
Yeah. That's where I want to go next, if I'm being honest.
If all of your viewers, all of your followers are all Western, based in Western countries and high economic countries, you're going to get paid a hell of a lot more per view, per 1,000 views, per whatever views, than
TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
That
blankets everything.
Everything, yeah. TikTok is the same, Facebook is the same. So yeah, if you have more, you want to get as many Western views as possible if you want to make
the most amount of money
as
possible.
So you therefore have to curate your content to be more enjoyable for Western people than you do for local people. So TikTok has its own monetization scheme, where if you have over 10,000 followers and maybe a couple of other things.
100,000 views per month.
Yeah, something like that. But I think if you have 10,000 followers, you probably get that anyway. They feel like they match each other well. And Facebook is the same, 5,000 followers, and so many hours of your, like 60 or 600 hours of your videos have been watched in the last month or something. You get into their monetization program, and again, they all pay per 1,000 views, depending on where the person viewed it is from. So if somebody from India watches and somebody from Switzerland watches, and maybe 1,000 Swiss and 1,000 Indians, maybe let's say £15 per 1,000 views for a Swiss viewer and £1 per 1,000 views for an Indian viewer, your average RPM, your average revenue per 1,000 views is going to be somewhere around, I don't know, £5 or £6, somewhere in the middle. Right. It always creates like a blend of your big audience together.
Yeah.
So that makes up about 60% of our income, maybe like 65%, and then the rest is from brand deals.
Yeah.
So that would be for 60 seconds of our TikTok time, or normally like 2 minutes of our YouTube time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, where would you say the biggest demographic is for your videos then? Because will it be like Asia, with that being where most of your content is, or is a lot of subscribers and viewers like from like England, US, stuff like that?
I would say we had a 30% Western, 30 to 40% Western audience.
Yeah, so that always pulls. So our content is always it's always going to pull in the interest of local viewers, people from that country, because the whole idea is like going to like really bizarre places, and as soon as somebody from that place sees two foreigners, traveling on the train there, they share it with their friends or whatever, so we always get like a high percent of like local viewers, maybe probably just over half, and then we have like a good solid 30, 40, sometimes up to a half, but percent of like Western people who are either interested in seeing some adventure in a crazy country, or they're interested in watching us because they like our videos, or if it's like, for example, if we go to China, generates a lot of interest from the US, because it's kind of political stuff, they always want to hear about it. So it's normally, so even if we get a lot of local views, like Indian views and stuff, which is obviously less paying, we do have still a good percentage of Western views, which kind of pulls up that average sort of cost amount per 1,000 views. So it's always good to try and get as many Western viewers as you can. Which is why I do little stuff like wearing my Newcastle top in videos and stuff, just so like, just maybe intrigue, even if it's an extra few hundred people from maybe Newcastle, so I had a Newcastle top in Karachi, Pakistan, what are you doing? Just to bring them in a little bit more. That's probably all the ways. And then we don't do it, but probably the other final way to make money is just to sell your own products, merchandise, digital products, anything.
I was going to ask you, is that like anything in the plans for like doing own merch, clothing, anything like that? Because that kind of be what most YouTubers eventually end up doing, isn't it? Like, it's normally clothing to begin with, and then other stuff afterwards.
We also upload on Chinese social media, so we have kind of like a bit of a Chinese following as well. We've only really thought, they've given us a nickname which is called Jushen Fufu, which means like alcoholic couple, which I guess is fitting for me and you. But it's because we drank some local alcohol.
Was it wine by any chance?
It's a type of wine, but it's it's like 50 odd percent. It's like a Chinese grain
wine.
Sort of. They call it wine, but it's not really wine. It's more like a spirit. We drank that with some local people in a video which went really viral in China, and then
they gave us this name. So we've got a couple of T-shirts that say the name on it, which is pretty cool. But we've not.
That's kind of only for our Chinese audience, because like nobody else would kind of get it, sort of thing.
I don't know what I'd put on a Western audience T-shirt.
The thing
just
is
alcoholic couple.
Yeah, in English.
It's like an outrageous statement to walk around with, like. That's so. That would be it. Yeah, selling guides, digital products, all that sort of stuff. Coaching.
It takes it's a lot of effort. Digital products, and our plates at the moment are absolutely crammed with what we're doing now.
Because you do all your own editing and everything as well, don't you? So that, as well as planning everything, and then actually doing what you do on a day-to-day basis as well. It's like the time to trying to construct and create different merchandise to sell just as like an extra revenue. Like
Yeah.
it probably at this moment in time, especially if you're doing your own editing, it probably isn't really worth doing that at the moment. Maybe because I'm only assuming this, but I can only assume that you're hectic a lot of your days and pretty non-stop.
Yeah, there's never enough hours in the day.
Yeah.
It's just entirely mental. But we do enough, definitely enough. And but yeah, that's it. I'd say probably, like you said, anybody watching, anyone learning about it, that would be your three, and then your additional couple like main income streams that you can get. Yeah.
Excellent.
It also opens up a million opportunities as well when you have like a platform and an audience. There's all sorts of stuff which you don't even think would happen, decide to happen.
Yeah, no, 100%, and I really appreciate you sharing the ins and outs of YouTube as well, because I think a lot of people kind of when they jump on podcasts and they do have like big followings on YouTube and stuff like that, they only tend to like talk about their experiences rather than the ins and outs and how it kind of works doing it full time. So that's why I did just want that little like kind of segment here, just for viewers, like listeners, anyone who's tuning in, is so they can kind of have that basic understanding, because you'll get groups who will probably be like, oh, I don't want to do it because I don't understand it, and if they have like basic knowledge, they might then take the like jump into doing it. But then the other side where they would want to do it because they can think they make it overnight, it's kind of giving them that realistic kind of view where still do it, we're not putting anyone off doing it, but kind of be realistic. Don't, unless you're passionate about it, I wouldn't recommend kind of jumping head first into it until getting like a basic following on everything at the moment. But no, that's been fantastic, really really good insight. So for anyone who is listening, Jack and Paige would really, really appreciate it if you start tuning in, if you're from the UK, US, anywhere listening.
Especially if you're family members.
So that takes us perfectly on to the next part as well. So your most popular YouTube videos then, I bet you were over the moon, because I had a little look at the most popular and it looked like it was 1.6 mil and 1 mil. And what I realised on both of them, which did take us by surprise, because I thought things like China, Japan and everything like that, I don't know if you've released any actual content on Japan yet, or
no, we don't. We just stay here for fun.
Yeah, because I was going to say they're both in Pakistan, which actually took us by surprise when I seen it was them two videos, mostly because like it's not somewhere where I thought people would be that interested in, but then when you were talking about it before, it's like very unusual that anybody kind of visits there, so I suppose that makes more sense thinking it, because I didn't think of it that way. I kind of India and stuff like that, a lot of people want to go there, so I can understand why people would tune in. But you've got the other aspects which I just didn't really think about. But I think the 1.6 mil one, that was that the train one when you were traveling?
Pakistan's lowest class train, yeah. I do begrudge that video a little bit, because the reason it's done so well is it's I can say, because I've uploaded a lot of videos, and I know when one looks like this, it's what's called like a perfectly packaged video. The thumbnail is composed perfectly with the train, and then like me and Paige out of the windows, like the sandy platform of Pakistan.
The train's red, right? So it's like a catch. Green, it's green, so it's like a catching colour.
Everything's like perfect with that thumbnail, and then it has like economy class. So in that, I put economy class because it's not like lowest class. It doesn't answer your question. When you say economy class, you're like, oh, what is economy class? That must be like a cheap fare or something. So and then the title of the video, first experience on Pakistan's lowest class train. It all works perfectly. Well, the video's like an hour and a half. I never expected that one, and unfortunately, that train was only a 3-hour journey. That was Karachi to Hyderabad. It was only 3 hours. It was beautiful sunset, but it was absolutely easy. We didn't have any bother. We didn't have any bumps with police. We didn't have. It was so easy, that train. And then we got off, and we had a little bit of issues in Hyderabad where they wouldn't accept foreigners. We had to go hotel to hotel. They had to call the police to like approve that we as foreigners could stay in the hotel.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near the best train video like that. So that's why I'm always a bit like, I wish like one of the other train videos, like the police hassle us on Pakistan train, or like that sort of thing. Like that video is like, it's very thrilling. There's like when we get on the train, it's absolutely mental. Like
But
getting
nowhere
on
to
this
sit.
train.
What was that man called again that you kept referencing? Do you know, before he got on the platform and he was drunk?
In
Oh,
India.
the
Was that
Desi
India?
Daru
The Desi Daru. Was that India?
That's
Yeah.
India.
Was that your latest one? That was, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's the
Yeah.
most recent
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
That
That was
had me in
good.
stitches, you know. I was
Daru.
crying laughing at that.
It's
But-
the equivalent of like India's Glenn's vodka.
Yeah, Desi Darrow's like just the shittest cheap vodka, like
Yeah.
cheap whiskey ever.
My
But,
dad came in and he was like, "What you laughing at?" I was like, "Oh, just Jack and Paige's last video." I was like, "There's some like drunk man harassing them, and Jack's just referring to an alcohol drink, calling him the Desi Darrow man." And
My favourite
I
bit
was
was
crying.
when we asked him where he was going, and he was like, "I'm going to Pune, which is like south of Mumbai." And we were like, "Oh, we're going to Nashik, north of Mumbai." And he went, "I'm going to Nashik too." Mate, no, you're not.
No,
You
that
know
was
where
great.
you're going.
Yeah. So, what was the second one? The 1 mil one that was taking the beach vacation in Pakistan,
Holiday in
wasn't it?
Pakistan.
Yeah.
That one I sort of see. Yeah, like I don't have any sort of. Obviously, I'm very grateful for all the views and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that the only reason that I sort of maybe don't like or whatever that the most popular video is because we produced much better train videos than that one, and the other ones that didn't get anywhere near the views that this one got. But nevertheless, the beach video. That
was a fun video, though.
Yeah, because and I think as well I knew. Well, I didn't know, but I can see why now that video got a lot of views. The title's just outrageous. It's we took a beach vacation to Pakistan. It's like first, so it's got like two me and Paige on the front, two white people. It's like, okay, who goes on a beach holiday to Pakistan? And then it's like the next question, people are saying like, hang on, I didn't know they had beaches in Pakistan. And then it's like, then the third thing comes in, because it's on the thumbnail, there's me, Paige, and a kid, a little boy, 8-year-old with a rifle. It's like, okay, so these two white people went on a beach vacation to Pakistan, where they went on a beach I didn't know they had with a kid with an assault rifle. Like, and it's just like, you have to click it, like, it's sort of, I get that one, and it's a very...
at its best.
Well, it all happened. It is.
It did.
It's all there. It's just them thumbnails are perfect when they they encapsulate everything about the video in one image.
Yeah.
That video is just mental. That beach is mental. It's called Clifton Beach in Karachi.
It was busy as well, though, the beach, wasn't it? I was not expecting that.
And you can just do anything on it. Like
You can ride camels, you can ride
horses, drive go-karts, eat street food, play, I don't know, shoot balloons with guns. You can...
The go-kart did look fun, though.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys went on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dune buggy thing, yeah. It's just like, it's just a mental beach. It's like I don't know, like Blackpool Beach on steroids from the old days or whatever. The place is absolutely bananas.
And we had a McDonald's in that video.
Yeah.
And
You
people love to see Western people try Western things in
their
country. So they're like, oh, what, like, is the McDonald's the same? I want to know if they have this. And then in the video, I'm like, they don't have this in England. And then they're like, oh, well, I want to see an English person try the Western thing that they can't get in their Western country. And then they want to see our reaction. So that's something we try to weave into every series.
Yeah.
Is to eat. It's like awful when you go to like Karachi and you're like, what are you going to eat today? And you're like, oh, I've got a McDonald's on the menu today. But it's so interesting to other people, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Simon Wilson is one who has become very popular from partly from a lot of his McDonald's videos in random places in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and then the third most viewed video is a fairly recent video from China, which is this is how Muslims live in China, and that's in Xinjiang in the northwest of China, which is it's where a lot of the ethnic Muslim Chinese, or known as Uyghur people. It's where they live, and it's an absolutely, where we went to Urumqi, absolutely amazing city. It's like very Silk Roady, very Kazakhstani, very Kyrgyzstan type thing. It's got all these like big sandy sandstone grand bazaars. The streets are just like you know, it looks like like I say, it might be you're in Kazakhstan or you're in Mongolia or you're in like some really like this sort of vibe. But then you've got like Chinese characters and Chinese food and people are speaking Chinese, and it's like such an interesting place. And we like went into the hood, into the local like neighborhoods outside of the city, spoke like the local Uyghur language, which is nothing like Chinese. It's more close to like Russian or Kazakh language. And people seem to really love that. Not only did a foreigner go to Urumqi, which is like it's it's in the northwest of China. It's so far away from Beijing and Shanghai. It's like it's a 6-hour flight from Urumqi to Shanghai from there. It's it's absolutely, it would be like going from London to bloody
Istanbul or something, right?
Southern Turkey or something. That's how far away it is. And people really like that. Not only did two British people went there, they also went went away from the city centre. They went into the hood and they started speaking the local dialect. People having haircuts in some guy's living room, like it's like so. And that video's got 800,000 views as of yesterday when I looked at it. But I'm happy with that one. But yeah, I just wish maybe one of the other Pakistan train videos was the one with all the views, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, the police one was probably my favourite one, when you just sat on them two like chairs, and then the people's got like the curtains, and then he comes back 3 or 4 times, and then you end up having to move class.
Get deported out of.
And then the man's like,
class.
man's like, can't sleep here, and then moves us, and then the next man goes, "You've got to pay to sleep here," and it's like, bro, I'll go back.
Yeah.
And the whole time he's like wielding an MP5. It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
That was, I felt like dramatic. Felt like it had loads of action. It was like proper,
That's my personal favourite. I really, really enjoyed that one. And I think it was just because you kept saying when you did move, you were like, I've been deported. And I was laughing. I was like, that's a great way of putting it, Jack. Fantastic. But no, that's great. So you've answered one of my points, like, is why one of them was, why do you think it was the Pakistan videos that did like get all the traction, but that kind of covers it, if I'm being honest. However, one thing I did want to like kind of touch on is, what was your feeling when you actually seen it like hit that milestone? Because I think 1 million for anyone is like a massive milestone in regards to views.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was mental. It was. It wasn't. It certainly wasn't. Like soon. It didn't sort of like, I didn't upload it and within a few weeks it had gone viral. It was months and months. It's like a
slow burner, wasn't it?
But to see it crawling up and to finally see it, because it says like 846,200, and then to see it go to 1M. That is mental. And I sort of like sorted me channel videos by most popular, so I could just look at it like that. And, I was like, I feel like I've got like a greatest hit now. Like
So that's what I was doing. When I was doing a little bit of research, I changed it from oldest, because I was like, how long you've been doing it? I realised obviously you were uploading the very short content for like the holidays, and then I done the most popular, and then when I seen that and it was like the Pakistan one, I was like, that's really surprising. But then obviously when you went over there, I can kind of understand it a lot more now. I just never ever thought of it from that like direction. I always thought of it from what would people be interested in actually going to, rather than being like, oh, what are these weirdos doing in this country?
We actually get emails quite often as like another income source that a lot of travel people do, is like group trips.
Right.
So it's where like somebody can pay to come along on holiday with us, and we'll take like 20 people on holiday. And I like emailed one back, and I was like, okay, how many people do you think you could get on a trip to the Afghanistan border with us in Pakistan? And there was just like no response.
That would be cool. I reckon they could get a few people to do that.
So somebody once described our videos as anti-travel videos to make people not want to travel.
Yeah. So one of my things is how, like, because I'm trying to word this correctly as well, because I don't want to say anything out of term. Other countries that you based in, it's like Middle Eastern and like Asia more than anything, isn't it? Like that's kind of where you do a lot of your content at the moment.
Yeah, South Asia and China. So South Asia is like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where things were located. That's what I was trying to think of. But yes, Asia. So have you got like any thoughts of going to like different continents for it, or do you think it'll solely just be like Asia, because obviously it's a huge continent and there's probably still loads of places to like get new content, stuff like that. But is anything in the plan? Well, maybe it's not in the plans, but eventually, like you've got the Americas. So obviously, America's a huge country on its own. But then you've got South America, Canada, stuff like that, and also you've got Australia, New Zealand, stuff like that. Are any of them kind of in the plans as well, or?
Yeah, so we're like fully booked until the end of the year. um, but we want to do Central and South America. Obviously, Jack speaks Spanish almost fluently, so that's something that we really want to do. And we also think that
Go to Colombia. I would love to see a vlog in Colombia.
not after dark, just in the day. But yeah, so Central and South America is really high on our list. That's where we've got a series from Central Asia. So we did Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Kazakhstan, and then we're going to upload a few more China videos because we're going to China again.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to go to Guatemala, maybe.
Yeah, we'll plan to go to Guatemala, sample the Central American content, and then maybe head back there in the new year.
That'd be cool, to be fair. I'm looking forward to that because I like them sort of countries over in like the Americas.
Yeah.
Like the Peru and stuff like that, because I love to know the temples and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've...
in Argentina, there's this area, Mendoza, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you like hire a bike and then you just like ride your bike from vineyard to vineyard, tasting the wine, like the red wines. Like that is
Jack,
like
that's your idea, isn't it? Just for anyone listening and watching as well, the reason why I reference wine and things in this podcast is because Jack's always been an advocate for wines since I've met him. So that's why I keep referencing it. So people probably be thinking, why do you keep saying it? So yeah, that is why. That's how I met Jack. Like his first drink, we were just in the local bar, and his first drink was I think it was a red wine or something like that. When everyone else was on the beer. Yeah, but yeah, so that's why I keep referencing for everyone watching or listening on the other platforms. So currently in Japan, correct? Are you releasing a series in Japan as well, or is it just a film break?
Film break.
Just editing, meetings, getting ahead on stuff.
We do this though. We go somewhere to get ahead on things, and then we get no further ahead if we'd been just travelling.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have that break, isn't it? Where you're on when you know you don't actually need to like film every day and stuff like that. Yeah. Because I was going to ask, I was like, do you make sure that you still not annual leave, but do you still give you that break where you don't need to constantly like plan your day when you're going to film stuff like that?
So we took a road trip round. We like drove from where we live to Kyoto and back round a big lake. And after we got back, we were like, we can't take any more days off for the rest of the year.
It's like this
3 days.
Yeah, literally just had a weekend off. Literally went from Friday to Sunday, and then all of a sudden had like 2.5 days of backlog of work and stress and So even if we don't film, if we're not filming, like still work. From wake up, get on the laptop, editing stuff, preparing stuff, uploading, whatever it is. Like, we'll never really get a full day where we just like don't ever do it.
I'll probably need to pick your brains on stuff for like sounds and music and stuff like that are royalty free for this, either the end or start of this podcast. But there's a few things that I need to bleep out in other ones as well, so I'll probably pick your brains on how doing that as well. But I'll leave that for after the pod in other days, so I'm not taking up all of the evening. But yeah, so in regards to that, so you've got obviously content pretty much planned in for the rest of the year. Then be interesting as well, because for everyone who's subscribed, if you're then changing content as well, it's going to be a bit of a change of content as well. So
new audience. That's the poison chalice of a travel vlogger is that if you have a lot of local people watching your videos from the countries you're in, when you leave their country, they're not interested in watching you. And if some Indians or Pakistanis are excited to see us in South Asia eating like South Asian food, different curries, different naans, different trying sort of similar cultures, similar language, Hindi and Urdu, stuff like that. all of a sudden you get yourself in Guatemala, they couldn't care less about what we're doing in Guatemala. So the views sort of die off, and then the people from Guatemala are like, oh, these two British people are cutting about Guatemala and speaking daft Spanish with like some guy in you know, some neighborhood where I live. I'll watch
Yeah.
him, and the local views from Guatemala start to come up a bit, and yeah, it's a constant
You
switch.
kind of, when you go to a new country, 10% of people will follow you anywhere. So they're called like your red subscribers. They'll stick
Yeah.
with you like regardless. So every country change, kind of like if you gained 100,000 subscribers, 10% of those people would follow you anywhere. They'd like watch you wherever you went.
90% couldn't care less after you leave wherever you were during
Right.
that time.
When we hit a new country, the subscribers just go blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah blah. They're like, don't
comes
want to watch
back
anymore,
First-
and then it goes
yeah.
back.
First
Yeah.
video from a new country almost always performs
The worst.
so like shocking, because it's just
Yeah.
like the people don't want to watch it, and then YouTube's very confused. It's like, wait, hang on, why is this guy upload a video when none of his viewers want to watch it? And like,
Yeah.
it takes like a few videos for YouTube to go, oh well, maybe there's like a new audience for this video, and it starts to like try to find a new audience, and then then it clicks with like so many people start watching it. They're like, okay, these are the people who want to watch this video. So yeah,
Yeah.
with travel vlogs, it's very very different to, you know, the people who have like a tech channel, or they have like a beauty channel or whatever, because like people are always somewhat interested in that one topic, right? People are
Yeah.
always interested in computers, or they're always interested in this. But with travel, people are interested. It's rare. It's unfortunately it's rarer that people are actually interested in travel than they are interested in the specific country you're in.
Yeah.
So people are normally always interested in the country, not the fact that you're traveling.
I find
so
that
yeah.
so strange, mate, because when I watch stuff, like, I really enjoy yours. And if I'm being honest, I only really watch like 3 travel YouTubers, and one of them I don't even watch that often. But you guys, I've started watching a lot more of. If I'm being honest, I didn't watch a lot of yours until kind of 2024, mainly because I wasn't really in 23. I didn't even realise you were uploading for half of the year. But yeah, so this year I have been watching, and what I have really liked about your content is, you know, the voiceovers that you've started doing on the start of the video.
Trailers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. Like, it's a really
like-
good touch.
Yeah, I like making them, but yeah, when I've made them, I'm always really happy with them. But it's sometimes
Yeah.
a bit have to like motivate myself to put in the extra work, and
Yeah.
when you know things that are most viewed video, they don't have any voiceovers. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't really need one, but I'm like, but every time I do it, I'm like, oh, I love that was class. Like, I should.
It's like the production gets slightly better though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you carry on doing it, it will pay off in the end, I think. But yeah, I really enjoy you, and obviously I know we've spoke about him as Simon Wilson. He's the other one, but mostly because his I solely prefer watching, you know, the no money challenges when he
we
just
love
travels to the company and then like uses stuff like Tinder to find houses and stuff like that. Like, it's so strange. So that's what I watch. But from you guys, I like the different cultures aspect. So I watch this for different reasons. So what I'm currently doing, and people watching and viewing this, and anyone who knows us will find this really strange, but I want to get into Christianity and then Muslim and go like do research in all the different religions. So seeing the different cultures of different areas as well, it's like so fascinating. So I've stopped drinking and everything like that now. And I mean, I say I've stopped drinking, I'm only on day 28, but it's 28 days, and people who know
Yeah.
me is I used to be out like twice a week. So it's a massive thing. I've got a 60-day challenge, and then if I feel fine and don't feel tempted, I'm going to carry on. But yeah, so seeing the different cultures in your video, and then me wanting to kind of do that, it's really good seeing like how different people are. And like, I think especially the ones in Pakistan and things like that, it's like people from the UK and stuff like that, they have kind of a stereotypical view on people in those countries and how those countries are, and I think you do a very good like portrayal of what it's actually like, and show kind of a more like true reflection compared to what people see on like the media and stuff like that as well. So that's why I've really been enjoying watching like your videos, because of that aspect of it, because we only get kind of what the media portrays. So
Yeah, and I think just like interacting with them on a normal level, speaking a bit of the language, and just having like a bit of a laddish banter with them, just it shows that very much, no matter where it is, whether it's China, whether it's rural Pakistan, whether it's in a Taliban-controlled market on the Afghanistan border that we went to,
yeah,
just like have a bit of a laugh, bit of a back and forth with anybody. We're very much all the same, and when you have some common ground, like things become very, very, very the same as whether you're in the pub and whether you're in the beehive in big market or whether you're
yes.
in the back streets of Beijing drinking dodgy Chinese whiskey with some old men, which is
Yeah.
what we did. It's all the same.
No, it definitely that, and you do a really good like portrayal of that as well. So anyone who is listening or watching this episode and haven't already, I would definitely make sure to check that content out, because I was very surprised when I started watching a lot of your vlogs, because I had kind of an idea of what those locations were going to be like, and boy, I was wrong about half of them. Yeah, if I'm being honest, like just like seeing people just kind of going about the day-to-day business, just kind of like getting on the train, stuff like that, and seeing what the actual cities were like, I thought a lot of them would be a lot more run down. Like, yeah, it's not what we're used to, but it's still in a lot better like state than what I had in my head, because obviously I'm only used to seeing like these little camps which are probably like kind of on the borders or like not in the actual main cities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't kind of expect a lot of it, so it's been like it's really good in that sense, I think. So I would definitely keep on doing what you're doing, because
I appreciate
it's
that.
really
Thank you
good.
very much.
So kind of touching on not location now, but on traveling itself, do you have any tips for solo traveling, or like traveling? Because I know obviously you guys travel together and it's not solo traveling, but do you have any tips on people who are traveling or backpacking or anything like that? Kind of, where do you find best deals, stuff? And I use Skyscanner, but I don't know if you guys have different websites that you use, anything like that.
Skyscanner's number one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some people, we have a few friends who use Google Flights.
Yeah.
That works as well, because if you're flexible on the amount of time, you can like, it easily shows like different dates and different prices.
yeah,
So that's good. I think my number one tip would be just to put yourself in situations that make you feel uncomfortable,
yeah,
because the area where you're most uncomfortable is where you're going to grow most.
yeah.
You're never going to grow from continuing to be comfortable and stay in a, if you're traveling and you just stay in a hotel every time, and even just staying in a hostel, maybe in a private room, is going out of your comfort zone. You're going to grow that little
Yeah.
bit more each time.
Yeah. Like I think if you're solo traveling, it's kind of a good way to do all sorts of things that you would never normally do, because nobody knows who you are. Like like
Yeah.
all of your insecurities, all of the things you might be embarrassed about. That's normally because of you don't
Social,
your
what
friends,
other people think.
like
Yeah.
your colleagues, your friends, or whatever, what they might think of you, because they know that you're like this, and then if you start doing this, they're like, that's not like you. Why you're doing that? But
Yeah.
when you're solo traveling, you walk into a
Become your
hostel,
own person.
you can
You could speak in a French accent the entire time, and nobody would be like, "Callum, you're not French."
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I think people will gather that I'm not a far try doing the French accent.
But there is a freedom in solo travel, as kind of you can be anybody that you want to be, and that doesn't mean that you should be somebody you're not. It should just be you can be the you that you want to be.
Yeah.
And I think definitely solo traveling, if it's your first time, I guess my advice is always tailored towards maybe more budget travelers. I think if you're a middle class family or something, I don't really have any advice for you. Go on holiday to Barbados or whatever. I don't know, like enjoy that. But if you going to Asia for first time, you're backpacking, just you don't need as much things as you need. You never need as much things as you think you're gonna need. You can buy everything in the country that you're in, no matter where you are. Like whether
Everywhere has a H&M.
Yeah.
So if you run out of t-shirts or you stain all of your t-shirts, you will be able to buy a new one. Even if you have to walk around with like "I love Phuket" on your t-shirt for the next week, you will be able to find another t-shirt.
I was going to say, what do you take luggage-wise, and like what would you kind of recommend? Do you just take carry-ons, or...?
We have a 20-litre backpack each.
So our backpacks are the size that you would take to the office on a day with your packed lunch and stuff like that. But that is something that's came from training though. That isn't something we started off with like a 45, went down to like a 40, travelled with a 40-litre backpack for most of our backpacking adventures until just last year when we downsized for a long weekend. We went to Croatia on a long weekend and thought, let's just take our work bags with us. Like, let's not bother with the big bags. Just throw some clothes in, our passports, medicine or whatever that we need, like, and just go with our work bags.
But you should never pack for more than 5 days.
Yeah.
That's the like golden rule of thumb. Like every 5 days, you'll be able to wash your clothes, and you can wear a t-shirt more than once, and your trousers. You can. I don't remember the last time I washed my pair of jeans, but like you can always just.
Yeah. It's like you can. There's always like laundry facilities in hostels. If there's not literally like 2 doors down from your hostel, there'll be a little laundry place where you can wash your entire backpack worth of clothes for like £2, and they'll wash it, dry it, iron it, fold it up, categorize it, and give it back to you like vacuum seal. It's like £2-3. That's anywhere in Asia, anywhere Southeast Asia. And there's always malls, like shopping centres with all of the brands that you're aware of, even no matter where you go. I'm talking about like small towns in Pakistan. I'm not even talking about Bangkok and Ho Chi Minh City and Kuala Lumpur. Like they obviously have everything, and it's just like realizing that like. How do you think the local people live? Like, do you think they just can't get stuff like that?
Or it's like whenever I say, I've not taken soap with me, and they're like, "Oh, you're not taking soap?" And it's like, do you not think they have soap when we get there? They're gonna have
probably cheaper as well.
Soap. They're gonna have your shampoo and your conditioner, unless you're like very specific about it. You're gonna be able to find a form of it, and then also. If the worst comes to worst, you can wash your underwear and your socks in a sink in your hotel room.
Yeah. But you can literally, if you're going to somewhere like a major city in Southeast Asia, which is normally the first sort of backpacking route that people do, which is a great idea. It's full of adventure. It's something you've never experienced before, and it's also a place where you're going to meet loads of people in the same situation as you. You can vibe together with and enjoy all these moments with and all that. But if you're going to any place in Southeast Asia, you could literally like go leave your house with your passport in your pocket, your phone and your wallet and all that, and just literally get on the flight and
buy everything there.
Literally, when you arrive in Bangkok, you get the £1-2 bus to the main...
The S1.
Yeah, the S1 it's called. To the main backpacker area where almost every backpacker stays for their first time in Thailand, or when they first arrive for their trips. You can buy a backpack and every single clothing item you can ever imagine. And you could just literally arrive and like you get off your flight, take the bus, an hour later you've got a backpack and a full set of clothes. Like you don't need anything else. So you can buy all the technology, all your phones, phone chargers, everything, portable charger, anything you need. There's nothing that you can't get when you're there.
That's my number one travel hack as well, is never to take your phone plug to a country.
Right.
When you get to a country, buy a new plug, and then it'll always go into the wall because you never need to worry about like having the wrong voltage and stuff.
Yeah.
But buy a plug when you get there.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to remember that as well, because 9 times out of 10 I always just forget my plug anyways. But yeah, so with that as well, you're going to obviously save money because you're not going to be having any like check-in bags, anything like that. So with your bags now, because obviously I know some flights, if you put it overhead, you have to pay for that as well. Do you guys just kind of put it under the seat in front now?
Yeah, I was going to go under the seat.
It's just an under the seat bag, yeah. A personal item.
Because that's what I'm doing for Poland, and I was like, will I have enough room? Yeah.
You will.
You'll be fine.
You're going to wear your coat, you're going to wear your jeans, you're going to wear your shoes. Like, you're just going to pack a few t-shirts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not an overpacker. I didn't go to Spain for 7 days and take 15 outfits.
And like 10 pairs of underwear just in case you piss yourself every day.
And the worst part about it is I was in a villa which had a washing machine, and my auntie watched, so I ended up wearing the same t-shirt 3 times. So yeah, I'm so bad for it. I do it everywhere I go. Like trainers as well, so I'll be going for a week, probably wear 2 pairs of trainers, if that. I always take like my full trainer collection just in case I change it per outfit. Yeah,
I think I have a video from when we went to Poland, and I sent it to friends from work, and I'll send it to you. I'll let you see inside my bag from when I went to Poland.
Because I've just bought a brand new. I'm waiting for it to come. I've just bought a brand new travel one because I've just got my hiking one at the moment. I was like, I don't really want to take my hiking one on holiday because it's a bit different. But I was like, I've just bought a proper one, so it's got like different compartments and stuff like
Have you
that.
got an Explore backpack, like the North Face
No.
ones?
Nah, broke.
That
I
one
didn't
was
have the
like,
North Face one anyways. They stopped selling them.
oh,
So I've
gutted.
just got a over the shoulder one, which I've broke that as well. So yeah, I break pretty much everything. So yeah, no, that's been great because obviously traveling something I want to do more of, but I've kind of changed route because I was going to kind of prioritize it for content as well, but now I think I'm going to solely, just because how much I've enjoyed doing the podcast, I'm going to solely focus on the podcast. But good thing about doing it this way is I don't, even when traveling, I can still book things in for when I'm away. So that's one of the good things about this, so I can kind of go hand in hand with it. But yeah, Poland's definitely on the cards. Then I need to think about next year because I don't know if I want to go long haul again, because I think that's been my favourite holiday. But then I also really want to do Switzerland as well. I want to go to Gdansk. So that's also on the cards. So
Do you know what I think would be absolutely mint? Like a moving podcast where like you're traveling, but you like find a backpacker that you met 10 minutes ago and you like sit them down and you do a podcast with them. You know nothing about them. And you just like, you're like, I met this lad in the street 10 minutes ago. We're going to sit and we're going to have a chat for an hour and you just film it. I'd
that
watch
would be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, that would be really good. Another thing that I want to do is, I don't know if you've seen them, but Milan. I was looking at Milan and it was the cheapest accommodation, but literally it's just a pod thing and it looks like a Portaloo and something like that, and it's just on the street. And I really want to just spend a weekend in one of them. I think it'll be so cool, man. It'll be dodgy, but it'll be cool.
Milan was the most boringest place we visited. We like arrived in Milan and we were like, get out immediately. Yeah. But we love everywhere else in Italy. It was so strange. Milan is like the least Italian bit of Italy, but it's full of Italian culture as well. So it's a difficult one.
Yeah. I think Milan's just the one that everyone travels to at the minute because it's like the cheapest flight from Newcastle at the moment.
Newcastle.
And what I've realised is Newcastle flights are so expensive compared to everywhere else in the UK.
We used to always go to Edinburgh for our like weekend flights and stuff like that.
Yeah, because even Manchester made me dad looked at this exact same holiday, and it was £200 cheaper if I flew from Manchester than it was if I flew from.
But you got to spend £200 on trains to get to Manchester and back.
That's true. That is very true. Didn't think about that part, but yeah. I just wish I lived in London if I'm being honest, because flights from Heathrow are so cheap. Yeah, and you can go pretty much anywhere from them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been really good. I think the best thing now is to kind of move on and kind of ask you guys what's been like the most, like the biggest struggle mentally, like within traveling. Like I would have said YouTube, but I think kind of the YouTube aspect of it isn't kind of where you get the mental. It'll be this like struggle of traveling, being in like the different cultures, everything like that. So what would you guys say? It might be one each rather than together, because you might face two different struggles like separately. But what would you guys say it is, and how did you overcome it?
I think our general consensus is missing home. Like we are the biggest advocates for Newcastle. Like we will die like loving Newcastle. So it's being away from like, there's nothing better than Newcastle culture. It's just like the people are the kindest. It's like the most, like when you're home, it's a different feeling. It's hard to like like my favourite place in the world is Granger Market. Like anywhere I've been, like I'm always like, wish I could be in Granger Market right now. That's a big one, missing home and family.
Yeah, definitely. And how did you overcome it, he said?
How do I just try to go home as often as I can.
Yeah, which is not a lot.
I thought it would have just been realise where you actually are and think,
Well, this is what Jack said. Today I was like, I had like 2 sentimental videos of like Newcastle come up on my like For You page on TikTok, and I was just like, oh, I want to go home. And then that's what you said, wasn't it? You were like, look where you are, like...
Yeah.
You're in Japan, and I was like, I know, and I love it here as well. It's a balance.
Do you speak to people from home much still as well, like every day, or?
Yeah, we always text people from home, and then you speak to your grandparents on the phone twice a week.
That's good.
Yeah. I think for me, like, would be probably more the YouTube thing. It's just like filming yourself in public.
Yeah,
I'm not somebody who's entirely outgoing. I'm certainly not somebody who wants to be seen walking around shouting at a camera on a stick. Like,
yeah,
it's like it's an entirely mental thing. And even now, I'm a professional. I've got a big following or whatever. I still feel like a complete idiot, like walking around a city
yeah,
shouting at a camera, like to nobody, just like waving my arms about and all this.
yeah,
Like I can see a million like judgmental faces, like what's he doing? But like that's why sometimes it is a little bit easier to film in like Pakistan and India and stuff, because people there are generally really like receptive to cameras, and they get it. And like in China as well, like live streaming, it's like a massive thing in China. Like you'll walk down any street and somebody will just be like live streaming on their phone. Like
yeah,
it's like when people see like you'll walk into like a restaurant in China with your camera out filming, people are like, oh class, he's gonna live stream our restaurant, like get in, like
yeah,
because they just think you live stream, but like they're really excited that you would film in their restaurant. Whereas like if you walked into like some restaurant or something in England or whatever with a camera, total camera,
They'd be like, get out
get out,
immediately.
what are you filming for? We do like, I had a bad experience in Hong Kong. I went to a British pub, and some
British
sort of
expat.
some Londoner, some Cockney city boy ponce like started on us because I was like filming myself showing like the experience of a British pub in Hong Kong. He's like, "What are you filming for?" And I was like,
You
that's a
told him.
great accent.
It's my accent.
I told him like, oh, I'm making a video about all the British stuff in Hong Kong, and obviously because England formerly occupied Hong Kong, and it's like what things are left from the British Empire and all that. And I explained the whole thing to him. I gave him the respect of like maybe he's just curious. And he's like, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna like that." I was like, "All right," and then he's like, "Don't film me," like, and all this. It's
You
just
weren't
like,
even filming him, and then he was like, I bet you weren't even alive in 1997. It was like, does that matter? I bet you weren't alive in 1944, but I bet you still want to think about the World War. Like,
Yeah,
but so it's like that sort of thing. It's like it's also, it's very hard for me even when like if I like walk past somewhere and I'm like, oh, I want to film that. That looks really cool.
yeah,
I haven't started recording already because I'm not somebody that's walking around normally like wow, like like a big character.
yeah,
And then like if I like lock eyes or something with the guy who maybe works there or whatever, and it's just like I hate the feeling of them pulling up my camera, turn it on and go, so good, and it's like that guy saw me like walking normally, and all of a sudden I've got a camera on a stick and I'm shouting at it and I'm going like, what's this? What's that? Like.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, so that for me, still to this day, is
difficult.
if I haven't filmed in like a few months, which right now I haven't, so that
yeah,
when we film again on the 1st of September in China, I'm going to, like, first few days, I'm just going to hate it. I'm going to be so self-conscious. I'm going to be thinking about, like, I'm an absolute nugget. Like,
yeah,
I'm just, like, I'm obnoxious. I'm this foreigner who's come to this, like, place and I'm
Quiet
shouting.
village, and you're just like, what's this?
Like, and it's just kind of like that sort of thing is the biggest mental struggle ever. But after like filming like a few videos, maybe after like 2 to 3 videos, I just started like get into it. Just started like pull the camera out without anything. I can speak
yeah,
more fluently on camera, and then after like filming like 8 or 9 videos, I like become like a machine. Not in the sense of like complimenting myself, but in the sense where like I'll film 3 videos in a day without even thinking.
yeah,
Just like I can just film everything and anything. I can like think of like ways to link clips together. I can narrate well. Like it's just
yeah,
like the whole thing just like takes momentum. But yeah, so that's the way I get over it, is knowing that I know that if I can just do it, if I can stop thinking about what everyone thinks, the videos they'll be good, and I know that if I just keep doing it, I'll get into the swing of it, and the momentum will happen, and then I'll be firing on all cylinders after a week
yeah.
or whatever, or a few days.
That's great. That kind of links with like that imposter syndrome as well, really, doesn't it? Like being like that. Like I get it now, when I'm posting on Instagram just with like the stories of solely having guests on. I'm just, will people really be that asked? Will people really be that interested? So I can only imagine what it's like when you're actually kind of, because I haven't uploaded anything obviously to YouTube, haven't done any clips or anything yet. So I can only imagine what it's like, one, when you're uploading, and then two, kind of getting the camera out in person. Like one time I did manage to remember to record. I was pissed in Spain, so I didn't really care what people were thinking.
Yeah.
I look back, right, and the clips were actually really good, but I was like, I can't have a Spanish vlog where it's just one night of me being pissed on camera. But the content itself wasn't actually that bad when I look back at it. But I was like, I've done nothing else for the full holiday, so that's not getting posted. But yeah, so I can totally understand that. And another thing I was going to ask is kind of, do you get much like negative comments on the YouTube videos, anything like that, or do you find like a lot of it's mostly positive and stuff?
I think,
It's
yeah.
like mostly positive, but you'll get the few people who want to nitpick like how you've said something, what you've said, if like what you've said is 100% correct.
I'd say that's one thing that is probably a strength, is I genuinely am entirely numb to the comments.
Right.
Unfortunately, I mean, sometimes if somebody says something like nice, I also don't feel like suddenly like amazing because I said something nice. I just kind of, in general, my feeling is numb to all of them.
Yeah.
Unless somebody like leaves like a comment where it's very personal and very like that I can see they've watched like all this bit, and I know I tried hard to make that video, and they've said, oh, they really like that thing, then I'd be like, oh, that's amazing.
But
like,
when
thank
people send like a nice message on Instagram, like I feel like they like, rather than just like watching it, going straight into the comments and leaving a comment, this person's like taken the time to like kind of like message you on a more personal profile, which kind of feels a bit more personal.
Yeah, so there will be thousands of negative comments, all kinds of stuff. But I just either don't look at them, don't see them very much, or when I see them, I luckily I know this is definitely not the case for everyone, and I sympathise with people who don't have this, but I genuinely don't feel anything when if I read anything negative.
My favourite comments are the ones where they're like, "You speak too much." And it's like, sorry, I'll just upload a video where I don't speak.
You should just do that, like just upload one, this is for the haters, and just when you just video in the place with no speaking.
Or we recently got one that was that they said, it was, what did they say? But they had uploaded it on a video from India that we had done whilst we were on annual leave, and it was like, get a real job, and it was like, mate, I took a 2-week holiday from my office job to film this. And then he was like, you two have never worked a day in your lives. And it was like, no, I promise I have.
Right, Paige, for you, that's very loose to, come on.
Very true.
I'm pretty sure your seat used to have, like, fire on it or something, because you were never on it. But yeah, that's a joke. But yeah, so... Just wanted to clarify that. I'm not being mean.
Alright, I just need the bathroom. Sorry, we were meant to have dinner at 5. At 7. And it's 10 to 8. Let me just have a wee.
Sorry.
And I'll just...
We've literally got 2 more questions left, and that's
we've got 2 more questions. I'll wait.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Right. No, that's fine. So next thing is just who, if you could invite 3 people, past or present, to a dinner party, who would they be and why? They can be famous, they can be family members. Just who would they be?
This is such a difficult one.
Yeah, for me it'd be Frank Sinatra.
Great choice.
James Gandolfini or Tony Soprano, and Anthony Bourdain.
Oh,
Why them ones?
All very sort of
influential in your different parts of your life, right?
Yeah. Anthony Bourdain would provide fantastic food and wine pairings. I would absolutely just love to witness a conversation between a old classic of the golden era Italian American and a newer era mob mafia Italian American, so Sinatra and, well, both of them mob mafia, I guess, but to see Tony Soprano and Frank Sinatra interact, you know, they would both share values over traditional men and good old values, all that sort of stuff, and it would just be like a setting of wine, Italian food, Anthony Bourdain's travel stories, all of his like collected thoughts of traveling the world, and then like to hear the classic stubborn Italian American ideas in clash of Anthony Bourdain's very liberal worldly views would be nothing short of extremely entertaining. I don't really know where I would fit in that. I would like to be a fly on the wall potentially, but I would just be drinking wine and enjoying it. But yeah, just Sinatra, the most influential jazz musician, jazz singer of all time.
Yeah.
It's Tony Soprano as a fictional character, or James Gandolfini, whichever. Just because of I just very much find him extremely entertaining and a very multi-layered character. And I
Yeah.
love his classic Italian American attitude. And then Anthony Bourdain, because he obviously passed away now, but one of the greatest of all time travel documentary hosts, powerful speeches, and a true chef who doesn't just care about presenting food, but also cares about trying any kind of food, working class food, poor food, rich food, everything, as long as it's surrounded by some cold beers and a good time. And
Yeah.
big inspiration for me, Anthony Bourdain, with travel.
Yeah. No, that's great. Paige, do you have any or?
I've been racking my brains the entire time you've been speaking, and I just think I'd like to sit down for dinner with Joel Linton if he's available.
Cool. Fair enough.
Can
Joel
you think?
Linton.
I'm trying to, and my mind is blank. Could you think of anyone? If I could, I was so gutted when Noah Khan came to Newcastle and I wasn't there, because I've just listened to Noah Khan for the last year non-stop. So, if we were going on current hyperfixations, Joel Linton and Noah Khan, if they were available.
Fair enough. I mean, Joel Linton is a fan favourite of mine as well, so I would have
Fine
that one.
specimen of a man.
We'll probably like him for different reasons, Paige, but okay. And finally, in regards to question-wise, is just, do you have any advice for your younger self or anybody who's in a similar position of you when you first started kind of travelling and backpacking and stuff like that? Or starting YouTube, any advice in general?
I think when COVID started, we were so scared to be on the other side of the world. And we came home and got back into the routine of a 9 to 5, which obviously has led us to the point that we are at now. But if I could have just told myself, look, I know you're at the airport now and everyone is screaming and you just think the best thing to do would be to go home. Just don't. Just stay travelling. Just make your own decision rather than following what everyone said.
Yeah, I think if we could have started when we went backpacking and stayed, even during COVID, if we could have just waited for any countries to open up and travelled there and made videos there.
Yeah.
If I told myself to start making vlogs back in 2019, and then still made vlogs in COVID. I mean, if you talk about gaps in the market, literally nobody in the world could travel, and imagine you were the only one providing fresh content on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of travel vloggers now got very, very popular during COVID. Everybody's at home watching YouTube and nobody's traveling. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to be the guy traveling and providing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess everything's
Start
a butterfly.
earlier.
Yeah, everything's butterfly effect. So I'm very happy with our life now. There's I don't care how old I am now, sort of thing. I don't care if I turn 35 tomorrow, because I've got everything I've wanted to achieve, sort of thing. This is my dream, to be out of the 9 to 5, to be out of that office and be traveling the world again after having it taken away from me by COVID, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And to be back again, it's just I don't care if I turn 40 tomorrow, I'm still doing the thing I've always wanted to do now. So I don't care whether I'm 26 or 46. I've got everything I wanted. So I can't really say I regret anything or I wish I had changed this. But yeah, definitely wish I could have seen the opportunity in making videos when we were backpacking for them 7 months, and then stayed traveling when people couldn't, and that would have been a very wise decision if I had the benefit
Hindsight.
of hindsight.
I heard something earlier that was hindsight is always 20/20. It's all you always go back and you could it's the clearest. You could just be like, oh, if I just didn't do that.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess regardless, we're here now. Got everything I could ask for, and very, very happy. And that all came from struggle, from being unhappy, from doing everything desperately, working a 9 to 5, and then coming home and working from 6 o'clock until 1 o'clock in the morning. Editing videos, uploading videos, everything, and then getting up at 6 a.m. to work for 2 hours before going to work again for a 9 to 5, and doing that for 5 months is what got us here. I can confidently say, and so yeah, I guess that maybe would never have gotten to this point if it wasn't for that hard work and uncomfortable
The
sort of
desire to
situation.
leave the where you work
Yeah,
currently.
just
And
hating
then
it so
getting
much.
drunk on a Saturday.
Yeah, and then getting hammered at bottomless brunch.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed that. I think that's good advice as well for anybody. It doesn't matter what they kind of want to do either. So just kind of, if you're nervous about it or scared to do it, is kind of just take the leap and do it. What's the worst that can happen? What
Yeah.
it doesn't take off. It doesn't like work out. Then you can easily find a job again, stuff like that. So I think that's good for anyone rather than just people like in the content creation. It's just if you're scared about doing something, probably best thing to do is to do it.
Yeah.
No,
Nice.
really appreciate that.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Been
Our
really
first
nice chatting with you.
podcast.
First podcast, yeah, our debut.
Yeah. Debut. I've really enjoyed talking as well, to be fair, because I think now I'm kind of getting in the swing of things for the interview style. But
Yeah.
just to wrap everything up as well, we'll just wrap it up with where can everyone who's tuned in find you on social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, anything like that. I'll link
Yeah.
it all below as well for YouTube.
They can find us on every single platform under the name Jack Aynsley Travel. That's Jack and then Aynsley Aynsley Travel.
And if you want a little bit of insight into being a +1 on my, there's Paige Aynsley Travel.
Yeah.
Cool. And anyone who is watching on YouTube as well, I will link everything in the description so you can click through. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, and subscription. And then if you're listening on any podcast services, please give us a follow and a 5-star review. Not entirely sure what that does, but I'm sure it will help in some way.
Always
So-
so, the out.
Exactly. And if you don't like the podcast and you're watching on YouTube, just let us know in the comments still, because all you're
I
doing
mean,
is
they
clicking the
still listen
algorithm.
to like 2 hours of it, so you must be enjoying something.
Exactly. Probably have like 10 people who watch the full thing, but I enjoy the conversations, and that's what's important. But no, we'll wrap it up there, guys. Thank you very much. And anyone who has stayed tuned, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank
Thanks for having
you.
us.